Hey, what about time delays? You ever think about time delays? Somebody reaches out to you and you're like, yeah, all right. I'm thinking. When people text me, I love people so much that I will practically jump off the roof and fly into a trampoline and swim through a bucket of water, and I will do all I can to answer as soon as possible. Yesterday, one of my good friends, dear friend from my group, was sitting there stuck on the side of the parking lot at church, and there were two Teslas, beautiful Teslas. I mean, one was a Cybertruck, and the other one was a gorgeous Tesla, all smooth and sleek. Nobody could help my friend. I happen to have with me in the car this little device. They said, "This?" Yeah. And so, started right up. All done. Instantaneous. One moment I was coming down the parking lot ramp. I park on the 6th floor because after I go to the Dream Center, then I zip over to... That guy's barely... He's over. He didn't realize he's backing up. He went way over all the lines. I come down. The catch, they caught me before I could get out. And this little bus has fascinated me. One time this gal, she pulled in there and the kid was in the shower or something. It took about, 4 or 5 minutes. Now she's gonna throw the red lights on right now. That means that I'll be off the hook for a few minutes. So, well, let's see how much, it's basically, we'll start it right now. How long does it take for that to go off, that red light? And I might honk the horn. If somebody tries to go by, I'm gonna honk the horn, because I think it's wrong to cross that light. It's supposed to stop. But let's see if this person is ready. There's people coming up north here. Let's see what happens with them. You can't really see it, but let's see if they stop or not stop. They should stop, should come to a complete stop. All right, and does anybody come out of that? Does anybody come out of this area right here? It's gonna come this way. Now we've got a whole nother melodrama here. Anybody coming out? Anybody? See, to me, if that kid isn't out there on the sidewalk, I wouldn't shut the red lights off. I'd say, I'm not gonna hold up everybody. Here they come, they're coming across. All right. And it's been now 1 minute, and another school bus is going to pass them on the backside there. Like, forget this, I'm going to go around. I think they know that driver. They're like, you know what, I'm just going to go around. It's hilarious. Even the other bus driver's like, nah, I know this lady. And she buckles the kid in, and she buckles herself in, and she checks her Waze map, and she gets a sip of coffee, and then eventually she'll shut off the lights. It's now been almost 2 minutes since they started this process. It's just kind of how it feels to when you text someone or you call someone and you don't hear. There you go. Okay, so basically 2 minutes, and then there she goes. That's not too bad. The other time, it was really late. It was really, really sometime. I propose that we as people who love each other be quick, be responsive. What if I had told that you do? Well, you ever had to call AAA? It'll be 4.6 days before a provider will come. You're like, I could build a new car in that time. What do you mean it's going to take all, sometimes I'll say it'd be an hour and a half. I'm like, no, I got to get going, One time, Robert, Micah, Amy, Grace, and I were with Mama on the highway out to the northern central coast. And the car became really severely disabled. And they could not find where we were. We were on some isolated road. We waited hours. We got down to LAX and rented a car from LAX. That was a trip. We have a nice end. Then we had a friend of ours, I think it was Steve and Aaron. They let us stay in their driveway in this giant van. It was crazy. So, delays. Yeah, they happen. But if they don't need to happen, if you hear your phone go ding ding, beep beep, ba ba, boo boo, whatever, text back, like right away. I text back not only because it's loving, but also I don't lose track. I've got multiple things going on at one time. If I start piling stuff up, then someone's gonna get missed. Someone's not gonna get the service they need. Someone's not gonna get an answer. Because I can't keep track of all those different things all at one. I can't do it. It's too much. So, to get all the jobs done I have, I do it as I go along. If I spill, be like even, just, this is a horrible example, but it's a good example. The guy's dog's walking along and, well, I'll be back. No, we don't need you back next week. Right now, get your little glove and pick it up and take it away. Chop, chop, right now. Don't wait for next week. Well, I'll be back. It's more efficient. I'll just bring my rake and I'll just rake it up later. No, a lot can happen. If I would have left my friend there in the parking lot with no way to get around, they're going to close the parking lot. She's got to use the restroom. There's appointments she has. She doesn't have time to, No, I don't know. All I know is you're not being very responsive, and I need a response. We might say that God does that to us, but I think that God does answer instantaneously, and that God always hears my prayers on the spot, and that He's working right now. And if there's a delay, it's only because there needs to be a delay. Jesus was delayed 3 days to go get Lazarus. That was God's plan. God had something to work out. God wanted it a certain way. And when we want God's ways, we've got to have God's timing. And God's timing is not our timing. And so, but we're not God. And we have our phones, and we're able to respond pretty quickly. And even if we don't have an answer, we just go, well, I cannot do that, or I can't do that, or I will pray about that. It makes a difference. People, just as humans, we like to have a responsiveness. We like to have an answer. If we're in a conversation with someone, we want to be able to we want to see the ping pong ball go back and forth. My good friend Elijah showed me this tape, and he was able to finally beat his son, they're both ping pong champions. They have a ping pong table on their penthouse porch, and it's you watch them like. I don't know how they just. It's just, to me, it's incredible. I can imagine getting to be pretty good, but they're like fantastic. That they obviously spend a lot of time playing ping pong. The time that I spend drilling metal and putting wood together, they're playing ping pong. So I can a fence or a gate, and they can go with a little white ball going back and forth. But you're going to be responsive. You can't let the ball go. And if the ball does go, well, there's no game. There's no conversation. It's just one guy just knocking the ball away. And there's that song from the 60s, Is That All There Is? And there's like some sad circus music playing, and is that all there is? Well, yesterday, a really good friend of mine asked, where do you think we go when we die? And I was like, more and more, I don't think we go anywhere. I think we're here with God. And I think it's more like that other dimension, like we're right. There is earth, there is a heaven, but heaven is being in his presence. And I wrote back and I said that the fact that I live in God's presence all the time, when I eventually have that last breath, I'll just be in his presence. So it's not going to be a big switcheroony. Oh man, I don't know if I like this carpeting. What color is that on the walls? No. It's going to be all about when you're in the embrace of the one you love, your husband or your wife, and you are just one. All of a sudden, the carpeting, the walls, everything else disappears, and all you care about is your love. Well, that's the way it is with God. That's the way it is with God's love. Once you experience it, it's fresh like spring. You want to sing, you gotta pass it on. Yeah, Maranatha music, that old song comes back to me. Well, I'm waiting for little Bethany Rose to show up here. It's Monday, 29th of June. And I just challenge you, if you would just get to it. Answer those texts and calls in a timely way. I think you're going to be blessed. And if you want to tell someone something, just tell it. Just say, I don't think this is for me. This is not what God has for me to do right now. It's okay. 213-713-8954. I want to hear my phone just ringing off the hook, they used to say. I have the most funny ringtones too. One of my friends is well over 80, and I have some rap songs. So let us be in touch with each other. Let's care for each other. Amen. 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 Talk to you.